This reading is all about your psychic abilities. This is going to be pile 1 or snip 1. This is going to be pile 2 or snip 2. And this is pile number 3 or snip number 3. Take a look, think about it, and choose your pile, and we'll see you at your reading. Hi friends, thank you for joining me with this edition of Pick a Card. My name is Griselle, and we are going to be exploring a couple of different things today. Mostly, what are your psychic gifts? So I would like for you to meet your psychic gifts. Even if you're a current psychic practitioner, a tarot reader, a medium, clairvoyant, clairaudient, even if you're very familiar with that, I think we'll have more room to develop. At least I personally always want to develop. So without further ado, we're going to go by the video clip. So if you chose clip 1, this is the reading for you, all right? So for clip 1, what are your psychic talents? For clip number 1, what are your psychic talents? Let's find out. Ooh. All right. So what I'm gonna say, let's see if we can angle this camera without that ring light turning up. Let's see, that's better. Okay. So what I'm gonna say about this is you have an innate ability to play chess, an instinct. I feel like a lot of you can learn and know just intuitively how to manipulate a situation, whether for good or bad. That's going to be entirely up to you, depending on how you lead your life, of course. So another kind of word to say is you know how to orchestrate things. Now, to other people, it could appear as manipulation. For some of you, I heard you're able and you're knowledgeable about how to move about energy. So energy could be a really big thing for you, like controlling the energy in the room or manipulating it or playing with it. I personally think that would be really super fun if you can get into a room and just without really saying much of anything, but trying to use your energy to change the atmosphere itself. So maybe when you walk into a store, a restaurant, whatever, people are just really kind of quiet and maybe a little down, a little out, whatever the case may be. And then you walk in, and by simply trying to use your energy, you can view how you affect other people energetically. So I'm not saying cracking jokes and things like that. I'm saying really working with the subtle realm, really working on the energy field, really looking at people perhaps and like conveying to them what their energy field is and seeing how you can affect it. All right. So that's for a couple of you. Now there is a star right behind this person right here. So I feel like some of you guys can be in law enforcement, studying law, paralegals, anything like that, legal secretaries. Be really focused on like law and order and old establishments and things, the way that things are. I heard some of you guys are also actually breaking out of the matrix, which I didn't realize it was going to be a reading like that. But some of you guys can really pardon me, start to see how everything is so institutionalized and understanding that we have a certain amount of leeway, a certain amount of leash, a certain amount of rope that we're allowed and given in order to hang ourselves, if you will. And so that's for one person, maybe. For the rest of you, this doesn't apply. Take what applies and dump the rest, right? So I'm going to say also that your crown chakra, I mean, look at that. The crown chakra is completely crowned. So you can have really an attachment to Angel Uriel. You could be getting downloads yourself from spirit. You could be really feeling your crown chakra pop. And what I mean by that is a couple of times when throughout my spiritual journey. Of course, it's never ending. As long as we're breathing, we're always evolving, including our gifts. I started feeling really kind of like, at one point, stabbing on my crown chakra, just kind of like trying to crack that crown chakra open even more, even though I was working within the spiritual realm. It was almost like, okay, open your mind bigger and wider than you ever have before. And it was painful. And so this could pertain to maybe one or two people. For most of you, it's just going to be a sensation where you have, in Puerto Rico, we would say coquilla. It's almost like a tingling on the very top of your crown. So whenever spirit is trying to alert you to something or wake you up to something, you're going to feel something on your crown chakra, okay? What else do we have? What else do we have for psychic gifts? Meet your psychic gifts. For those that chose clip number 1, what are your psychic gifts? Let's find out. You have the ability to get clarity anywhere. And so sometimes I feel like you operate with some brain fog in your mind, or you think that things are really cloudy, you don't understand them. And I feel like you don't give yourself enough credit. Honestly, if you're looking at this, it almost resembles like a seashell. And again, the crown chakra is being referenced. I feel like you get a ton of downloads, okay? I feel like also you wear your truth like a cloak. And that is actual, like a real spiritual gift. So I feel like, in other words, if you are somebody who's working in the spiritual field, you have your own business, you see clients, or you read for friends or anything like that, or you're just simply open to it and trying to explore, I feel like your truth, you actually wear just like a cloak, just like clothing. I feel like you understand that you serve a higher purpose, a higher calling, and you are in service to mankind. And I feel like for most of you, the clarity, when this unlocks, I feel like when this unlocks, it's gonna unfurl and just kind of open up to the heavens even more. So I think that's going to give you a lot more clarity when you start, I guess, speaking your truth, seeking more clarity, gaining more wisdom, because you do have a little bit of brain fog, but not a ton. I feel like you might be like quiet about your gifts, but really open, honest, and straightforward when asked directly. I feel like you've come from a really tough background, a tough terrain, if you will. I'm sorry about my chair. That is so squeaky. It drives me nuts, you guys. But I feel like this is a key that's going to really help unlock so many different people. You're going to help other people become really, really woke, really understand what their role is in society, how they are playing a part of humanity in society, their participation level, and all of those things. So I feel like also you are getting close, if not already there, to unlocking how chess is played on a grand scale globally, okay? Again, that's going to be for one or two of you. The rest of you, I definitely feel like there's just so much clarity there that people come to you for answers. Okay. That was like a long way of saying people come to you for answers, but I feel like you're on a quest for answers and people come to you for those. Okay, for our clip number 1, those that chose clip number 1, what other psychic gifts do we have for clip number 1? Let's find out. 7 of Pentacles. You have the ability to take a look and even sample what you have grown, what have you developed. Like, where most people think, okay, this crop is, I grew this crop and it's evidenced by the tree that I planted, and then it grew and then it produced more apples, and that much is obvious. But for you, clip number 1, it's not that simple. It's, yeah, we produce crop. Yeah, I planted this. Yes, it's producing apples, but you want to crack it open and see the quality of it. You want to inspect it. You want to examine it. And what I feel that this means is that you're just really inspecting what you yourself are inputting into the world. What are you participating in? What are you producing? What are you working for? And whom are you working for? And is it going to be edifying? Is it going to bear fruit that you want? Okay, so you're going to take a taste test and see periodically to gauge where you're at, to monitor, to gain that clarity that we talked about, to see if you're on the right track. And if this apple, for example, isn't sweet enough or isn't tart enough, however it is that you wanted it, I feel like you're going to use your truth to cut out anything that, whether it's a special fertilizer, whether it's a job, whether it's people, whether it's an attitude that you yourself have, whether it's surrounding yourself with the wrong people, whatever the case may be, you are going to make sure that that tree bears fruit in such a way that's going to be edible, enjoyable. I know that, I think it was like crab apples or something like that. Some apples like grow on trees and they're only fit to feed horses, from what I remember from childhood. That was a long time ago. But not that they're exactly not edible, but they're, from what I remember, super small, and people just feed their horses with them. So I don't know. But basically, you're going to tend your garden. You're going to even learn how to graft things together in order to produce what you want it to produce, okay? So you're just trying to see, okay, let me unlock my mind. Is it possible that there is a bigger thing controlling my life in such a way that I don't want it? Like, is it controlling people? Is it using people as puppets? Am I what part do I play? Am I, in this grand scheme, where do I fit in, okay? And you're going to start seeing what works for you and what does not. And I think that that's going to take you even on a longer journey. But I think also that you can really spot a master manipulator miles and miles away, okay? So just the same way that you can actually work with energy and transform and transmute energy, on a playful and a fun, even on a healing level, especially, I feel like you could see people that use their talents, their gifts, their beauty, their money, their job positions to really use and abuse other people and control and manipulate. So you might be the kind of person that actually spots a narcissist a mile away. And intuitively, you may not even have the words to think, oh, well, this person is narcissistic. They could just repel you. Now, the Six of Wands here is telling me that you have the ability to make minor corrections to make a huge difference in your life. And so if you're feeling discouraged right now about like, oh, what are my psychic abilities? What exactly do we do with that? And I mean, this isn't really clear. Well, it's not, because it's going to be really individual. Just continue seeking your truth, continue making those small corrections, because they're going to make you really, really big wins. And so what I mean by that again is like saying, okay, it's not producing what you want. My life isn't headed exactly where I want. You have to leave this pollution behind, the things that pollute you. If you're watching TV, listening to music, listening to people gossip and talk, that's pure garbage. That kind of like pollutes your soul or your heart. You have to leave those things behind. So whatever it is for you, you're going to start cutting those things out and start gaining more clarity. Because when you create a void, which is cutting something out, then naturally something else has to enter it or take its place, okay? So things like that. Another thing I want to tell you is that you are definitely looked up upon, like your peers can definitely look up to you. You are very celebrated. People get excited when you walk into a room. I feel like people like want to champion you. They want to be a part of you. They want to be close to you. And it's just because you're really, really sweet. There's like a sweetness there, but you're also very truthful and almost like innocent. Almost, okay? Okay. I actually want to use a different deck. Let's get some more clarity here. So for clip number 1, I'd like to know a little bit about this Ace of Swords, please. Why is this Ace of Swords here? Let's find out. The Three of Swords. So you are willing to really examine everything that's caused you pain. And you're willing to use that fourth sword just to cut it out, basically, to really cause and help your healing. I feel like you're willing and able to see other people's pain also and help them to understand what it is that they need to cut out in order to improve their situation, elevate their game, and overcome, okay? So Of course, when I add this Ace of Swords and the Three of Swords, and I'm going to get a 4. And that is all about healing, separation, taking a time out in order to elevate your game. And that's how you find success. And that's why people seek you. So I feel like you get a lot of people. You might be really empathic as well. You might even feel the pain of other people. But intuitively, you can ferret out the root source of what is causing them pain. Even here, this is like a maze. I feel like you help people navigate through mental conflict of why they're in such a quandary. Like, why can't I? Why am I always picking the wrong guy? Or why am I always in this situation? And you're able to see through the maze that is their lives and root out the source of their pain, the source of what really is keeping them entrapped in those cycles. And you can bring that to the forefront. A lot of you would make excellent counselors, psychologists, psychiatrists, people in the helping fields. Any type of therapy. Okay. Why is the Seven of Pentacles here for my clip number 1? Clip number 1, please, more information. What is your psychic gifts? Let's find out. The Queen of Wands. This is about you being a mover, a shaker, and a candlestick maker. Willing to do whatever it takes. You get excited about your own ideas, your own notions. You might have like just a really vibrant, rich inner world, and you may kind of, I heard stampede, but I feel like you might want to just like rush off and do something. According to other people, it's like in haste, okay? But I don't feel like that's true. You may just rush off and go and start a new business, start a side business, start, doing whatever it is that makes you feel secure. I feel like a lot of you guys are also going back to your roots, exploring your ancestral roots. And actually, that's going to be one of your real gifts. But I feel like if you're in your 20s, you're going to start seeing that gift manifest and unfold more in your late 30s and 40s. Okay, I know it seems like a long time frame, but whew, time does fly, believe it or not. But it doesn't mean you can't not get in touch, okay, with your ancestors now. For others of you, I feel like you are actually having experiences with like a grandmother coming into presence, stepping into the forefront. You could be hearing whispering in your ear. Specifically, I feel like your right ear. I feel also like this could be a little bit shocking, a little bit surprising. It could throw you a little bit into, gosh, am I sane? Am I okay? Is this real? Yes, it's real. And I feel like you're maybe even shielding or hiding this from other people because you're afraid that they might think you're crazy. And you know what? You have the Ace of Swords here. You need to do what's best for you. And so I would just kind of keep on the down low and see how things progress. Because if you look right here, this is all about her stability. And look at all these flowers, okay? I mean, there's a lot of fire there, a lot of passion. And I think that what is meant for you in the future is going to be incredible. I think you're going to have just incredible impact on waking people up, okay? So, you know how they say woke nation? I'm so woke. You're going to be a part of helping people get woke, okay? You could be into supplements like Shilajit or mushrooms or whatever the case may be to really open up and expand your world and your psychic abilities. I'm not condoning the use of drugs. I personally don't partake. But that's up to the individual, okay? I feel, again, grandmotherly vibes like Rose, Rosa, Rosie, somebody who is just really from your past, who maybe used to love the garden, maybe they grew roses, maybe they were known for roses, all right? What else do we have? The Knight of Swords. So, in so much as your travels, I feel like you're going to be able to cut through the BS, cut through other people's BS, cut through your own BS, and really understand and help other people understand what is really true, what's right in front of them. I feel like you have a really big fan base, like people just love you. You could be a little bit on the quiet side. And that's quite all right. I feel like you're going to start opening up and blooming verbally a little bit later on. But right now, you're working on your crown chakra, on things that help you be stable, on things that are growing in the direction that you're headed. And your focus primarily to develop your psychic gifts is going to be cutting things off that do not serve you. So it might be painful, it might be jarring for other people in your life, but it's going to be completely necessary. Because believe you me, if you leave people that are not of the same vibration in your life, or toxicity, or people that just don't mesh with you, it's not going to go well. I just tell you from experience. We all have to live our own lives. So if this resonated with you, please do smash that button, like, share, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Leave me a little emoji, or let me know what pile you wear, what clip you wear. And if you like the way those intros are going with the clips, do let me know. Much love to you. Namaste. Hi there. If you picked clip number 2, we want to know what your psychic abilities are. So for pile number 2, I'm just going to call you pile because it's easier. Pile number 2. For those of you that chose a clip number 2, pile number 2, what are your psychic gifts? Let's find out. The Knight of Pentacles. You're a great strategist. You knew how to move forward with that, which intuitively you know is going to pan out, is going to give you good results, is going to give you more bang for your buck. You know what is a waste of time, and that is huge, where most of us are just kind of like, all right, let's try this. Okay, let's try that. Let's try that. You are perpetually aware of what really blooms for you, whether it's friendships, relationships. You definitely are not someone that is going to dump good money after bad. Like if you experience a money loss in a situation, you're not going to try to fix it with more money. You are definitely not going to invest any more in that situation. If it doesn't produce after, a conservative amount of effort, you're going to move on. You're going to see that it's just not worth your time. And while that's not exactly psychic, I think that definitely ties into your intuition. Intuitively, I feel like your gut feeling, you know what it is that is going to help you have freedom. I feel like you're somebody that, even though you're constantly on the move, you may seem really slow to other people, slow to make judgments, slow to pull the trigger on certain things. I think when it comes to your finances, your stability, that's where you dance, that's where you shine, that's where you fly and show the rest of us up, okay? I think that also you are quite mysterious. You may be really protecting your crown chakra at this point in time, not allowing other people to understand and see what is in your mind, intuitively or otherwise. I think that you operate a little bit under the air of mystery and secrecy. Let's see where this goes. I think you have a real love for beauty and a real need for security as well. Psychic gifts, please, for pile number 2. What would they be for pile number 2, psychic gifts? I'm taking these 2. Okay, this one came out in the other. And this is good. This is the ability to stop, evaluate. Is there reciprocity? I can't even say the word. Okay, do people reciprocate? Do situations reciprocate? So you have an intuitive ability about that, but you're also going to make sure that it is tangible. You are definitely not a dreamy kind of person. You are like, all right, show me. The proof is in the pudding. If this situation is for me, then let it be. And if it's not, then I'm moving on. That kind of a thing, all right? Now, while that's not exactly psychic, I think that you, with your intuition, you could be claircognizant, just having a knowing, like that feeling in your gut. I just know I'm going to bet on horse number 55 or whatever the case may be. I just know I'm going to do this job or go to this place, and you wind up being, quote, lucky. Well, it's not luck. It's just listening to your intuition. Your higher self and your guides are really directing you. And so when you hit that level of being in tune, Also, you could be really in tune with nature and animals. Then you have nowhere to go but up. Okay. I think that these abilities can be really subtle hints right now. But you are going to start feeling more physical signs of like when you're getting intuitive hits. I feel like some of you guys are going to start having dreams if you're not already. And then all of a sudden these dreams like happen, like somebody calls you or whatever the case may be. And you're kind of like shocked, like what, I just had a dream about you. And I haven't heard from you in years or whatever the case may be. So another thing is that you have the ability, you have two separate gifts, and I feel like you're going to start learning how to work them in tandem, in conjunction with each other, how to get your gifts to play nice together. And I think that it is a fine balancing act. Look at this person balancing on that tall building. And all they are is focused on the infinity symbol. So I feel like you do have divine protection while you do this. I feel like you're very well cloaked, very well clothed, very well protected by the way. I don't feel a lot of people in your energy field that don't belong there. And so I think that part is really good. It's going to be balancing your caution with your intuition, balancing overthinking with your intuition, balancing, okay, I need to see the fruits of my labor before I move forward. So there's, for some of you, going to require a little bit more of, I need to see things in order to continue pursuing, okay? This card actually flipped out when I was just kind of playing with the deck and I was talking, so I'm just going to read this one as well. Now here we have a situation where justice comes into play. So I feel like you in all things really look to see that things are fair, things are balanced, that you're not over giving too much to any situation, whether it's work, romantic, or your friendships, whatever, family relationships, whatever. You want to make sure that everything, all things are in a balance. You're constantly focusing on what you are building. And with that, I'm going to tell you that, yes, you can use your psychic talents for that as well. You can build an empire. You can build, and maybe you come from a long line of psychics, so people just didn't call it that. But if you follow the thread, you're going to find out that a lot of people had the knack, the hand, the touch for knowing on how to grow these businesses, on how to manage their money. Self-mastery is going to be really, really big for you, to see how I can use two different energies, whether it's just being in the dream state and your intuition in conjunction together, to create a balance, to be able to help you to cut off anything that isn't good for you or anything that causes a disbalance, and that helps you continue with your performance called life. Okay, what else do we need to know about your psychic gifts? Let's find out. This can cause you anxiety. I feel like this can cause you some anxiety, not really being sure about what is going on. Other people can needle you about it, like, oh, you're just so cautious, or oh, you're just so that, and how do you know? And you're like, look, I know it's not a good investment of my time, my energy, and they want to push for a concrete, tangible 3D answer. And when you don't have one, all you have, which is even better than that, is the intangible, is what Spirit is helping you with. And to explain that to other people, it's going to seem like you're crazy. So I feel like you will have friends and family who don't understand when, with playful needling, that can actually kind of cut you to the quick, okay? So it's difficult. It can be challenging. And I think that you're going to be able to cut through the nonsense and the BS, because with any gifts, you're going to have people that question you, that question your loyalty, for example. And it's like, well, this is a family business, and you're not participating, and you're off doing your own thing, and you're like, because intuitively I know this is my calling, not the family business, or the case may be. So I feel like you're going to try to find a balance between your gifts and what other people's opinion and concept are as well. Their concept of what you should be doing, let's say. I don't think you let it bother you too much. I think you might really enjoy music, have a flair, maybe play a musical instrument yourself. And that is something that can really help you open up vibrationally and also help you with your psychic abilities. Okay? I feel some of you painting, some of you drawing, some of you just define art, some of you designing, some of you making couture clothing, and just experimenting and having success almost immediately. Like you'll make, for example, I used to make purses out of nothing, and then I would have some buyers want to buy purses from me, which I was really always surprised by. Or I'm not like even a painter, but I started painting and I sold some paintings, things like that. So you're going to have a natural ability to have things that people really admire and want, and an ability to sell those as well. Okay? So it's instinct, your intuition speaking. What else do we need to know about pile number 2? Let's find out. Oh, we got 2 of them. We have the Temperance and we have Death. Okay, give me 1 second here. And so, what Temperance is going to be really, really important, again, that you maintain your balance. Easiest way for you, Spirit says, is to go ahead and get grounded. Keep grounding yourself. Keep grounding, because there's a lot of changes and transformation. And I feel like what is in you, okay, is going to start blooming in your outer world. It might, in some ways, isolate other people that don't understand you, that are not part of your true vibrational family, your soul family, your soul tribe, whatever you want to call it. I think that this will force people to kind of leave you behind, and vice versa, and in the way of like, yeah, I don't have time for that. Like, this isn't, you know, if you used to go out drinking with friends and partying and all, and looking for different people who quote like you or whatever, that, you know, having one night stands or whatever the case may be, or just simply focusing on relationships, you're just going to see that that's not good for your soul. It doesn't make you feel good. And so you're turning a cold shoulder to that, looking for what balance you out, cutting out all the shenanigans that is no longer helpful. And you are turning a new leaf. You're looking at what transforms, what is once again growing. Also, I feel like you could be somebody who is focused on agriculture, on compost, on homesteading, on any of those things that really bring nature and flavor into people's worlds, and help the world be sustainable and beautiful. You could also, for example, for a small portion of you, even be focused on earthworms or insects and things of that nature as well. And just maybe some of you guys are beekeepers. I don't know. So I think that you'll have a lot of interest with the gentler things. So you're going to start surrounding yourself with animals, getting messages from animals. I think that you could communicate telepathically as well. Animal communicators specifically, more so than people, although I do think that you can develop your talent to telepathically communicate with people, and that is a little bit easier tested than animals. But if you have friends that have pets and you want to kind of check it out and hone your skill, it would be a great idea to involve them as well. You know, you're going to do what you see fit. So, yeah, I think that something about your heart chakra just bursting open. I feel like some of you might wake up in the middle of the night and literally feel almost like a membrane over your heart chakra, kind of just, it sounds really weird, it kind of like pop and kind of melt away, almost like a sack around your heart. Not physical, please, and not like to be a health alarmist or anything, but this indicates to me that whatever has protected your heart or held you in an isolated state emotionally, where you can really open up your heart or allow it to bloom or grow, is melting away and allowing for new growth, for new progress, for you to continue moving on your path. We're going to pull some different cards here for you. Tell me more about the psychic gifts for pile number 2. What is the Knight of Pentacles here, please? Let's find out. You'll make money with your psychic gifts. Page of Cups. It's going to be, I think that you'll be tickled pink. You'll be excited to see that your hunches, quote unquote, pan out. Your claircognizant is going to be right on the money. That thing that you just know, you don't know why you know, just continue pursuing that, because it's going to be really clear what hits is it that you're getting. And you're like, yep, I was right about that. Okay. And I had a jumper. We've got the Seven of Swords. I see you doing things, but exploring and experimenting with your psychic abilities, not letting a lot of people know, by the way. The Nine of Cups is, this is going to bring you a lot of emotional gratification, a lot of stability as well. So it's going to be a real important time for you to ground yourself, to know that you have positive and negative polarities that are combining in order to bring about this change, this death, for lack of a better way of saying it, that you're not going to be accepting the status quo of these buildings, of these old order and establishments. You're going to create your own path, is what I've been trying to say. So your psychic gifts are really going to open up your own creative paths and your own ability to make money in a different way than people traditionally think. Okay, so you do have divine protection. Let's see, what else do we have here? What else do we have for pile number 2, please? Pile number 2. Let's find out. You've got the Two of Cups. You're going to have a partner in crime, so to speak. Somebody who understands, somebody who might even be a mentor to you, somebody who really gets where you're at in life, where you want to take your psychic abilities. This is a deep connection that you guys, almost like your soul tribe, basically. You guys are connected in a way where once upon a time there were like ugliness in woods and like maybe things that are a little bit scary because we don't understand them. And now I feel like this, with connecting with this person, you'll form such a bond. Doesn't have to be romantic. A lot of times it is, though, that you feel like, wow, somebody gets me on an emotional level. And I feel like you will be working so hard and kind of surrounded by people that not directly oppose you, but they don't get you. That it'll be such a relief to have someone in your space, in your life, that really just naturally fits right in. Like, you guys can talk about all this stuff that might seem crazy to other people, and it isn't crazy. It's completely, look at all the blue up here. All the blue is just a lot of emotional connection, a lot of words, verbose. I feel like it's going to really awaken your heart. And this is something that you can actually find your romantic partner doing what it is, exploring your gifts, what it is that you love. For others, I'm hearing psychometry. You're able to hold objects and really tell where that object came from. So if you go to pawn shop and you start practicing and just kind of feeling what it is that you are getting, as far as how you're feeling, the images in your head, your emotions, all of that, you can actually get downloads insight as to where that ring came from, that pocket watch, or whatever the object that you're holding in your hand. I love doing that. And don't be afraid to fail, because I've had many, many fails, and it just takes a while, just like anything else, to hone a skill. You have to do it over and over and over until you get it. Some of us do, not all of us. What else do we have to know about our pile number 2? Let's find out. Five of Swords, a lot of changes. Could be a lot of opposition, a lot of people wanting to fight with you. Maybe even during this time, I did feel like it was going to be a peaceful time. I feel like this is more internal. Like, you might be thinking, well, is this even real? Is this sane? Nobody else relates to it. I just feel so different. I could feel like an alien. All of those things, okay? And we're taking that jumper as well as this one. What are these? The Tower. So this could be like I'm just running around in circles. I'm not even sure what's going on. Things can feel like, when you look at everything around you, I feel like old established laws and orders just are going to start to crumble right before your eyes. This can be what's going on in the world today, but I feel like more of it has to do with, wow, if I don't fit in, like if I'm not a shop owner, or if I don't own my own business, my computer programming, or if I'm not going to school and I don't fit those molds, you're breaking those molds and tearing down those towers and breaking the rulership. Is that a word? The rulership of what has been in the status quo and what's expected of you, and you're really working on fostering and forging ahead and creating your own divine thing, which is way more authentic, way more edifying. Look, that's going to put you right within your power. So do not fear. Don't look around for a barometer. You're not going to be able to look around and see, okay, am I doing good here? Because I can compare myself to other people, because there is no one really like you, okay? And especially in your circle. It might be down your family line, a couple of generations, that you might find out later. And by the time you find out, it's going to be like, well, thanks for not telling me. I appreciate it. So I feel like that's what the tough part is going to be, is wrestling with the idea that, wow, people can't relate to me, or it makes me feel kind of insecure, or I don't have a template. But we are your tribe. You do have a tribe. So don't allow the world to lie to you. Be very patient. Be very kind with yourself. You are conquering inner beasts, and you are doing it very gracefully, very beautifully, pulling out your natural talents and honing those skills, and embracing the dragon in a lot of metaphorically. I mean, some of you guys can be of Asian descent, or even from China, I don't know, but you are embracing anything that seems like wild within yourself. Like you can really take a grasp on that wild raw talent, and make it your own, and shine and elevate your game, okay? So those are the messages I have for you. If you liked the style of reading, please do smash that like button, like, comment, share, subscribe. Drop me a little note letting me know what clip you were in. Thank you so much. Namaste. Hi, clip number 2. This is your reading. I'm going to go ahead and just clear. Hi. Are you guys little firecrackers? What is that? Okay, I hope you saw that. I've never had these pop and crackle and flare, anything like that before. So that is super interesting to me. I feel like maybe you guys are on fire, you guys are popping, and there's a lot of messages as far as your psychic gifts coming through. So we're going to find out what exactly is going on. That is highly unusual. I repeat. Okay. So we'll find out exactly what your psychic gifts are, and a little bit more about them. I'm wondering if I'm going to have to turn this out, because I didn't expect it to spark quite so obviously like that. I'm going to keep an eye on this right there. Okay. So, for clip number 3, what psychic gifts do we have for clip number 3? Well, let's find out. We've got the 7 of Swords. The ability to do things independently, perhaps even secretively. Let me get rid of this ring light here. I'm not sure how to get that out of the shot. Okay. Hopefully you can see this. So I want you to see, I mean, this person has some eggs that she's taking care of. So it could be that you have your own nest egg that you're not sharing with. But I feel like creating a lot of gifts. So once we crack open these gifts, we're going to find out exactly what. I feel like there is a psychic gift that's near and dear to you. For some of you, it is. So for some of you, it's definitely empathic abilities, being able to feel other people's emotions. And I feel like you hold that near and dear to you. And I feel like sometimes you also confuse it with your own emotions. So that's going to be real important, just to be able to distinguish and separate between, are these other people's emotions, or is that really my egg? I think that this really makes you feel important and connected to other people. It's going to be really important to distinguish. It's not that you cannot have a connection, it's just important to distinguish what is yours and what is someone else's at this point in time. So, the next thing I have for you is going to be clarifying why the Seven of Swords is here. You could also be very much like getting intuitive hits as far as seeing omens and things like that. Synchronicities, getting messages from birds. I do see 2 birds here, but I feel like you're really focused on the future and focused on making things bloom that are really your gifts, okay? And for some of you, you could really so focused, in fact, on making these happen for yourself that you could be addictively watching people in psychic channels and things like that, trying to figure out and enhance and increase and speed up your intuitive gifts. Now, some of these gifts do take time to marinate. I'm just going to call it marinating because just like the eggs right here, they're going to take their time in order to really hatch. They need to be at like perfect temperature. They need to be protected. They need to be looked after to make sure that they have the time enough to go ahead and mature within the egg. And so you want to make sure that you're not rushing things. Now, I'm a fine one to talk with the whole rushing thing because I'm a Leo, and so I want to rush everything, even if it's not good. And most of the time it's not good. I'm going to fess up to that. But especially with your psychic connections and stuff, just making sure that you're not too possessive of them. They are gifts given to us and for us to be able to develop and help mankind. And so try not to like hold those together for as far as like hold them at bay from other people. So self-protective that you don't share them with other people. Okay. For others of you, this indicates that you're actually developing, oh good grief, your psychic gifts in secret. You're not sharing that with anyone. You're not telling that to anyone, but they are designed here so that you can actually share it with the world eventually when they're of age, when they're developed sufficiently, when these eggs crack open to reveal the miracles that are within, the gifts that are within. They are designed for us to help other people. Okay. And so with the devil, we could be a little bit obsessive, like these are mine. I don't want to share. I don't want people to know what I'm going through. And I totally get that. When the time is right, eventually you're going to have to come out of the spiritual closet if you're still in it, okay? So I have these 2 jump out. I have the Emperor reverse, and I have the King of Swords reverse. You could be around someone who is really a control freak and is really nasty with their words, which is why perhaps you want to keep your gifts and your secrets to yourself. It could be that you are in a situation where you're feeling controlled. I heard mastermind, so maybe you're feeling like the political climate or people in your home or people in your family and friendships and stuff are definitely masterminding your life, and you could really not want anything to do with it. It's like you want to be the master of your own life, and that is why you are so secretive and protective about your gifts. So a couple of ideas for you. You could be on the internet, and if you look, I've got the web here, and she's kind of like splaying her mushroom dress. So it could be that you're going on a trip. So whenever you go on a trip, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, it could be that you guys are learning how to astral project on the computer by watching like YouTube videos and things like that, or reading up on it. Whatever the case may be, you want to be careful that because you're integrating parts of yourself. You're integrating parts of yourself into the collective, in a way, parts of yourself into your computer, if you will. Okay. Red is going to have a lot to do with your stability. So I feel like your psychic ability is something that you really want to develop, but you want it to make you feel safe and secure. And until then, a lot of you guys are not going to be sharing anything about this because they're tender little egglings. And so what if people want to come over and eat your eggs? That sounds really weird. But you're not going to be sharing that. You're going to be in mama mode, like protective mode or daddy mode, whatever you want to call it, right? So I definitely see that there are reasons for you to keep this secret. Just want to be careful that your obsession doesn't overcome your logic, okay? It doesn't interfere with your life in general. Now, this just jumped out for you, and I do feel like maybe you have someone spying on you, taking a look at you. It's like almost like a shadow of a presence, and this, I don't feel like it's an entity or touch or anything else. I just feel like it's someone that is observing, and they want the gifts that you have for themselves, and that's why you have to be really self-protective. Like, you're protecting what it is, your fledglings that you are growing into full abilities, and we haven't even found out what these other ones are just yet, okay? But you have somebody who's really kind of wanting to take a piece out of you, kind of wanting to take your gifts for their own, and it just doesn't work that way. So it's great to be self-protective, but just know nobody can take your gifts away from you. What is meant for you is yours. Okay, so I just had a whole bunch of these jump through. So it's like the Three of Wands, it's like you're not waiting anymore. The Page of Wands, you've kind of lost your mojo. The curiosity factor. The Ace of Wands, again, just like the passion drive, is a little bit driven to the ground. I feel like your strength is being used against you. And so far as like maybe somebody's provoking you with negative words, with nasty action, you're not acting as yourself, okay? And you could be quite emotional about this. So it's almost like you've lost your optimism in this whole thing. Now you're just in hermit mode, pure, wanting to get back into the eggshell mode, okay? So I don't know what situation you need to get out of, but and I look at this bird, I always think toucan, who can, you can, okay? For clip number 3, you've got birds, and you've got wisdom, and you've got the all-seeing eye here, vigilance, in order to protect yourself and your dreams and your visions. But I feel like for whatever reason, you're being knocked out of balance, because basically your strength is being used against you. People know how to push your buttons, these two people. This Emperor could be like a father of the house, a husband that's not supportive, a brother, but somebody who is just really harsh and strict, and this is how you have to do things. This other person is just going to be nasty with their words, male or female. And so I feel like they're not encouraging you to be yourself, okay? They're really dogmatic. And the next card that I'm seeing for you, I've got this guy right here, the Three of Swords, is obviously a lot of pain. It's like people, like you have been people's pincushion in this situation. And I feel like, you know, I'm going to tell you this from personal experiences. Like, when you undergo a lot of pain in life, a lot of lack of supporters, a lot of haters, a lot of people that want to take your shine, dull your shine, want you to be whatever it is that they want you to be, because they're miserable. In fact, we undergo a lot of pain, but within that pain, we develop layers of depth and layers of relatability and layers of understandability that we can actually really utilize and transmute that energy and that pain in order to help other people. So while it's not of solace right now, it will serve you. I'm just going to say it's going to help you. And so I'm really sorry about that. I feel like a lot of you don't even want to look at who it is that's the source of your pain, and wanting to basically lifesteal cheat you out of all of your gifts and purely take away your shine, simply out of jealousy or who knows what, dogma. So I guess that's an unexpected warning for you. I feel like most of you guys know who this is, and definitely could be more than just one person around you. Then I've got the Judgment. You're going to really be poised. You're going to settle into a state where you're going to count the cost and think, okay, this is positive, this is negative, and what's really going on. Make sure that you judge fairly and think things through, and don't judge emotionally, like, oh, that's just my dad, he's always acted that way. That's just my brother, he's always acted that way. That's just my mom, she's always been that way. They don't mean anything by it. No, they actually do mean things by it, and you need to kind of open up your eyes, which is part of what you're not wanting to see right here. That people, in fact, want to be selfish and kind of undercut and undermine you. But you know what? The bottom line is that you are the Nine of Pentacles. So you might be single. You might be somebody who is extremely independent, regardless of what your partner or your family and friends say. You definitely have your own mindset and how to do things. You also have a great way of holding poise. I feel like you like things that are a little bit on the luxury side of things, like luxury items. You have maybe an eccentric way about you of doing things, but abundance is on the top of your head, so you're not thinking about anything else. But the messages that you're getting from spirit of protecting what is yours, of really being able to accept that abundance. I'm even looking at this bowl. It looks like a shell, and so it's almost like if you crack open that clamshell, there's all the abundance in there. So you're looking for pearls, pearls of wisdom, anything that is going to help you further your case, open up your soul, and open up your ears into spirit, I guess the spirit world. Now, with that being said, I'm going to say that a lot of you guys also are starting to develop your clairaudience, that you're able to actually really understand and hear what spirit is saying to you. If you stand real still and just kind of ask after you cleanse, of course, you ask messages from spirit, I think that you'll wind up getting quite a few messages by yourself. And with her white gloves, I feel like your hands are going to be really pure. It's like, look, I don't have a motive. It's not like about making money. It's not about anything other than I really earnestly have a desire to hear what spirit has to say and move forward with these things. So that is what I'm getting. I do feel like you are kind of being surrounded to be ensnared for whatever reason, and I just want to encourage you to continue doing that which gives you passion and drive and excitement, so that you don't succumb to this, because I feel like people around you would like nothing better than just to see you brought down to their level. I heard brought down a peg or 5. So there's a lot of yeah, there's a lot of people that actually just don't wish you well, and I don't understand this. Now, I happen to look down when I crack these other cards open. I've got the Ten of Pentacles. This is family. This is family that does not want the best for you. Whether it be jealousy, whether it be like a desire to control, your independence is a threat. Your psychic awareness is a threat. Your ability to get messages from beyond is a threat. Don't kid yourself. And at this point, I'm going to say, do protect yourself. I fully encourage that, and it helps me understand maybe why you're holding on to those eggs, and maybe a little bit obsessively as well. So we have the Page of Cups. This could be a child. This could be your child or your little brother or sister or someone in your household that is factoring into your reading. But this person would be more on the emotional side. Just somebody who's very sweet, who's very loving, who's maybe dainty in features, very delicate in the way that they do things. They're not going to be like Brutus, kind of crashing through the house. They're not that kind of a kid. They're just more delicate, sentimental, and sensitive. Yeah. So this person also could be psychic as well. Very connected to you for sure. What else do we have for psychic gifts for my pile number 3? I did not expect this to turn into like a full-on counseling session for people that are just haters, basically. It just sucks. For clip number 3, what else do we need to know about their psychic gifts, please? The 3 of Pentacles. So stay in your creativity, stay in your positivity. You could even feel spirit around you. You could feel things literally with your hands, like energy. You could feel like cold and hot spots on your body. Like if you were to ask, okay, spirit, can you please give me an indication? I feel like you would even be able to feel it physically. So energy work might be an interesting thing for you. Doing Reiki, delving into those arts might be good for you. I also heard for some of you guys are really good with meridians, with Chinese medicine, with things like acupuncture, acupressure. And while it's not exactly like part of psychic gifts, I'm going to just say that intuitively you are going to be more guided to be able to use those two things together. So don't just always think, oh, wow, this is my psychic gift. I can hear from the dead. Well, it's going to be kind of that, and kind of in combination with your intuition leading you, or you hearing something that leads you towards a person that needs to hear a message. So it's not just about hearing the other side or listening to the other side. There's more elements, and not just seeing what's obvious, like the signs and the birds and what they have to really tell you. It's combining that with real life and bringing it onto the land, I heard. And so I know that's like a really, some of you guys are indigenous, by the way. I feel like some of you guys are a different color from the rest of your family. So and if it's not physical color, I feel like you are just off color, but not quite, like just different. So different skin tone, different hair, like you could maybe be albino while everybody else is darker, or you could be white while everybody else is dark, or you could be dark while everybody else is white, or something like that. Something makes you really stand out from the rest of the crowd, being your family, okay? And you're just different. Like everyone knows you're different from them. What else do we need to know about this creativity of the Three of Pentacles? Oh, good grief. I have a whole wad jump out. These cards are like dying to speak. Look. And I'm going to go ahead and take them, all of them, just because they jumped out and I caught them with my legs and none of them spilled. So we have the Hermit. There's a need for you to go within to discover what it is, in fact, that makes you feel safe and secure. Is it family that hates on you, that makes you want to be less dense, so that you are diminished and they can feel more in control, more elevated than you? I doubt it. Ace of Swords, cutting through the crap, cutting through the bullshit, pardon my French. But I think you're going to use your intelligence to be able to cut through the quick. The Six of Cups, yeah, it's having some sentimentality, but I do see that she has packed some bags. And so it could be you returning to an old place, maybe the neighborhood where you grew up, maybe with a family of origin. But it could also, I feel like you have maybe perhaps moved on mentally, emotionally, spiritually, making the final move to do a physical move. And it is a little bit sad looking at things with nostalgia. Eight of Cups, thinking about things over and over in your head. Also being really connected to spirit. Being aware that spirit's saying you have to leave the situation. I don't really understand why. You could get some really fiery messages, like inspiration, like, okay, I have to go. I don't know why. And I'm out of here. But you're in touch with your divine feminine, you're in touch with spirit, you're in touch with the lunar phases for sure. The Knight of Swords, you are going to be in pursuit. You want the truth and nothing but the truth, but I think that this will be really painful for you to accept as well, okay? Two of Swords is just being at a stalemate, not being able to come together, not being able to have maybe two people, two parties, or even family members come together and discuss what it is that is in conflict. Look, and I have the Devil again. It's going to be an obsession. Why can't we kiss and make up? Why can't things be smoother? Why are we always on opposite ends? Why do people not support me? The Knight of Wands. You're going to walk away into your future, into the door of opportunity, the door of cornucopia, and the door to spirit. Once you start getting your spiritual downloads yourself, you are not going to need reinforcing from any other person, place, or thing. Okay, you're going to learn how to detach. Yes, detaching, and these are all the cards that jumped out. The Five of Pentacles. You might feel a little bit like you're isolated, like you're trying to move on, you don't have anyone perhaps, or feeling that way, but knowing that these people are not your supporters, they're not your tribe anyways, even if they are blood. Okay, so the next thing I have is, yeah, I've got the Wheel. So things are going to be turning for the better. You're going to go through a lot of different phases of growth. I feel like you are going to find yourself at different stages of growth, kind of like having a similar lesson where you have like another tribe that are not super supportive, or say that they're supportive and then they're not, that kind of a thing, till eventually you're not going to need anyone else's support but just you and spirit. Not that it's not good to have that support, but you can't drink from the land of support when there's none offered. I'm going to say that being psychic isn't sometimes what it's cracked up to be, what people think it is. A lot of times it's extremely lonely, And so I know that a lot of people do not talk about that, but this is something that, number one, it does scare other people. And so if you're pursuing your talents or gifts, when you know things, okay, and you're like definitely claircognizant as well. When you just know things, you have that knowing, it has a tendency to freak people out. They want to hide and run from that. The moon, they want to stay hidden. The Eight of Wands, they don't want to be clear in their communication. They don't want a message. Okay, and Eight of Pentacles, they could not want to put a lot of energy, time and energy into you, because this kind of freaks them out because you're so different. But more importantly, I feel like because they get exposed for what they really are, for who they really are. And so all of us have a positive and negative side, and the more that we start working with our gifts, we realize that nobody is perfect. We're just working with what we have, including these people. So these people have just no divine connection. They're just cut off from source at this point in time for whatever reason. It is their choice. We can turn that around at will whenever we want to, but they're choosing manipulation. They're choosing to look with their eyes instead just be jealous or hate. They're choosing not to be supportive. And so all of these lower vibrations, earthly things that are earthbound, are not going to help them to really elevate their game, okay? But I do feel like you have at least 3 different phases to really fully develop and grow more into yourself. Yeah. So just be aware of the need to seek too much validation from the outside, I guess would be the one caution that I would give you. Otherwise, I would definitely recommend a lot of meditation, a lot of seeing what abundance is it that is in your mind that you can plant now, that you can help harvest later with time, energy, effort, blood, sweat, tears, whatever the case may be, that you want to input into those situations and ideas that'll bring about collaborative effort, cooperation, and most of all, creativity. Creativity is going to be a bloodline, a lifeline for you. It is going to be a great source of joy. I heard a great source of sometimes hardship, because they talk about artists being broke and that kind of a thing. I don't feel like it's necessarily the case for everybody. It might be for one person, but it could bring about its challenges as well. So with that, I do hope that this reading was enlightening for you, and I'm going to send you a ton of love, a ton of energy, and self-protection. Okay, so with that, if you enjoyed your reading, please do smash that like button, leave me a comment, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff, and we will see you soon. Namaste.